welcome to this new class. So we're going to paint a pigeon. I want to show you my test piece. I painted it also in my journal. This is the back of the old version of the cold press. So actually this has it's softer. There's less texture, but it's still a good paper. I layered it very quickly, wet on wet. I started with like lighter colors overall. I know it's all darker. The idea is to make sure that we have a contrast, to create a contrast, because it looks like the head, chest, and these feathers are much lighter. So we need to work on creating a contrast here by adding a little more darks like indigo and toward the neck area. Hi friends, so I have Van Dyke Brown burnt sienna. I'm not really going to use burnt sienna. I don't even know why I diluted it with water, but it's there just in case. Maybe around the eye because we see a little bit of brown. But maybe imidazolone yellow if you feel like you want to add some undertones for the green areas. I didn't really use that yellow. I have the yellow basically for the eye because we need to make that reddish like orange pop. And you want to start with the yellow first and then red, which would be quinacridone red in my case. Okay, colors for the feathers. Cobalt blue, quinacridone red, viridian hue, marine blue, phthalo blue red shade, and indigo. This is pretty much it. You don't need more colors than that. So if you paint seascapes with me, then you probably already have like marine blue and viridian hue. But other than that, like if you don't have certain colors, like don't stress over it. Like you can grab any other color. Like I have, for example, maybe you have hooker's green, or maybe you have bamboo green or some other color. It's okay to have different colors, so don't stress over it, please. Now I am dipping my flat brush 24 in water and I'm going to begin wetting. I'm not using washi tape. I'm just gonna kind of stop like right here, something like this. But to show you like from the top, I'm gonna go around the eye and add water just as usual. Just wet it. It's a very gentle blend of colors. I grabbed some quinacridone red very quickly. I grabbed the phthalo blue, and you know what? Because of all that, I need to wet this a little longer or one more time because it started to dry. And I took my time. Obviously, when you dilute colors with water, then the paper start to dry, right? So before I start, I just want to be really ready here and give myself a good start for these colors. All right, so again, I have the phthalo blue, quinacridone red, placing it right here. Watch what happens, how the paint spreads. So maybe over here. I'm actually gonna turn my test piece over so I don't try to like copy it, because actually it's hard for me, because if I like something I did in my test piece, then I'm trying too close to go with that, right? It's like a reference almost. And then I don't pay attention as much as what's happening on my paper. Like, well, I am paying attention, but I'm trying too close to go with what I see in my test piece. And it's probably the same for you. So try to not get stuck too close like on what you see in my painting, so you're not trying to copy it exactly. Just kind of trust your own instincts and go with the flow. Okay, it's okay if you added more color there or here. Don't worry about it too much. So I am going for like undertones. Those are like the areas where I want to show there's that blue, phthalo blue with quinacridone red. I'm adding, actually, I grabbed more of the phthalo blue red shade. So this is more of that phthalo blue, quinacridone red again, going back here. And in a second, I actually should start adding some of that viridian and all these bluish color, the marine blue, viridian hue. So something like this. And let's see, some of that blue here too. Might as well go here. This is the marine blue, viridian hue, and I'm with my eyes, I'm following like the reference, just so like, okay, I know exactly, okay, this is the area with those greenish feathers. But I'm not just grabbing marine blue, I'm also grabbing marine blue. So marine blue, viridian hue. And the viridian is fine too, by Holbein. Like if you have that one, it's a matter of shade, which shade you like better. But I have like the overall, right? It's not working, is it? You know, why is that? It's because I don't have shadows. So I need to create that balance. So for now, I still have a little paint here. Now, if I go back to the top, what's gonna happen is when I add the color, this will help to keep paper wet longer. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm gonna grab a little more of this quinacridone red and phthalo blue and go toward these areas that feel like more purple-ish. I feel like it's kind of actually like here, maybe here. I went in it's a little bit, but that's okay. A little bit is okay as long as I don't go all the way like where I have the iris and the pupil. Oh, pupil will be okay because it's dark, but other parts, right? So here, and then I gotta start thinking about these darks because right now, like, there's not much of a like what is going on? It's just a big blob, right? I'm gonna grab a little more of the quinacridone red and go over here. So the puffy chest. You need to show it's a puffy chest, but this isn't really a brush because it's a larger brush. And I do have a fine point, but you know what? I actually need a new brush. This is from my own series. I do need a new brush because I don't see much of that fine point anymore. All right, I'm gonna for now wipe the brush. I'm not gonna even clean it. I'm just gonna go for this heavy cream of quinacridone red, and there's my indigo. It feels a little too heavy, so let's see, maybe this part. Now, where are these feathers, like the wing? Where's the wing? I lost the sketch, right? It's okay. You're just going to recreate it. So somewhere here. So actually I do want like a creamier paint overall. So somewhere here, and pay attention to like reference so you know where to add the colors. Because by adding these darks, this is my indigo, I am like basically designating area. Okay, this is gonna be the wing, right? So it's important to really like pay attention to it, where you want that wing. And then here, I still have some of this indigo. So I'm just gonna add some darks right here. The colors, I'm just adding more darks here. And I am going to go for that next. So you see this is creamy paint. And because it's creamy, it's not spreading as much. Now I do need to work on these feathers. So let's define some of these feathers. Let's find them. So now, basically, I'm finding feathers just by kind of like adding the shadows. And then we're gonna lift colors too. So you need to have creamy paint on the tip of your brush and you're just shaping the feathers. Now these ones here are much like they're positioned differently. It's more about these ones here, these feathers. Okay, and then let's say this is a feather there, and then we're gonna keep working on them. So we just kind of define them, but we're gonna do more once we start lifting colors. Now, I do like that, I have that bloom in my test piece and I can't forget about it. I really like it here, so I'm just gonna add some water. So you're just gonna drip some water if you want to. I'm not lifting like I normally would, because normally I would just lift, right? I'm just gonna create a bloom. The same thing here. So I'm just dropping some water, basically just water for the bloom. If you mess with it too much, you will lose the granulation. You have to let things happen naturally. So a lot of times what I would do is just grab my rigger brush. This is my Songbird rigger. And it is too early. It's definitely too early. I kind of have to wait like a minute or two for things to settle. Actually, as a matter of fact, this is almost too dry. So I'm just gonna grab creamy indigo and quinacridone red. I am so sorry if you can hear the noises outside. Unfortunately, these are gardeners and they work in the mornings on Tuesday and I forgot. I would have waited, but it just started. So this is creamy paint and I'm just gonna add like the single, let's say feathers. And only toward the areas that feel damp. So like here, but you know, it really is too early. I really need to be patient with myself. One thing I was just thinking, to add a little bit of that burnt sienna Van Dyke brown actually over the edge, just so we have that brownish tone right away from the start around the eye. I think it's a great idea to add a little bit while this is still wet. Okay, now I'm gonna wait about a minute. But other than that, that's it. So thank you so much for your time. And please let me know if you have any questions.